Talk about influencers. These are influencers, and they're friends of mine. Jack Posobiec. Where's Jack? Jack, who's done a great job.
America's future is a series of choices. Our current state of slow motion national decline is a choice. This November, we're going to choose success. We're going to choose to put the future of Americans first. We are going to choose to no longer be spectators this election. We together are going to do the work to save America.
All right, Jack Posobiec, we're back live. That was Charlie Kirk, his final ever RNC speech. I love what he said. This isn't about Republican or Democrat. This is about saving America. This is about making choices to save America, and that's exactly the fight that we're in. We do have breaking news right now, by the way. This is out of New York City, where in addition to the bomb threats that we reported earlier today, we're now across New Jersey, we're now also hearing of swatting. So swatting attempts have been made and swatting incidents made at polling sites in New York, multiple sites, including Harlem, Greenwich Village, and Midtown East. And supposedly this was sent to the Board of Elections, an email that was sent in exactly. I'm not entirely sure what is going on. It was deemed not credible by the NYPD, similar to how 7 polling locations were hit by these bomb threats that were also deemed non-credible. And there's also that bomb threat down at Reagan National Airport, which is, of course, by the way, in Northern Virginia. So you've got these various threats across Virginia, across New York City, and across New Jersey today that are all targeting Election Day voting. I want to bring Cliff Maloney back in here because, Cliff, look, as guys who have, and this is kind of interesting for me because I focus on elections, but I've also done a lot of work on the impact of political violence, and now we're starting to see the merger of the two, aren't we?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are searching right now to figure out, okay, who's doing this and what is their motivation? Regardless, Jack, what does this tell us? This is why we have to bank our votes, right? This is why we all have PTSD from Arizona having the ballots that were printed too short or printed too long. This is why in Cambria County in 2024 in Pennsylvania, they had issues with their machines, 2 to 3 hour waits. This is why we have to take advantage of the current rules, because the Democrats, since they don't vote on one day, they don't have to deal with the repercussions of these types of incidents, right? You and me are not here to say that we love the system or we love the rules and we're an advocate for them. But we should say that we are an advocate to use the system and use the rules to figure out the best way to win. So all these threats, where they're coming from, I could make accusations or think through what the intents are, but it just proves the point. We're relying on one day of voting still, predominantly for what we're trying to do in these elections. We need to start rethinking getting our low props to vote early, because when stuff like this pops up, there's no recourse, right? There is no solution. It's just going to turn people away from the polls.
No, it's going to turn people away. And we all remember Maricopa County not having the paper. I was here. I'm right here in Maricopa County right now. I was here on Election Day in 2022 when that happened. And I remember talking to Charlie about this and then going to Tyler. Of course, he was the Maricopa County chairman years back. And I said, guys, what is this business about? You got to handwrite your ballot and stick it into door C. I'm a Pennsylvania guy. I never heard anything about door C when you handwrite your ballot. I mean, that just, and we remember what happened. It turned a lot of people away from the polling places, and we'll never really know whether or not it would have been the margin of victory for Carrie Lake when she was running for governor in a very tight race like that. And this is what happens. This is what happens, the chicanery, the political trickery that goes in, the dirty tricks that happen when this comes up when elections are tight. It always comes up when elections are tight. 2024 wasn't tight, a blowout for Republicans, and that's why you didn't see, remember the pipes breaking in Georgia in 2020, by the way, et cetera. I could list off things all day long, but all of this, again, to your point, it's done to suppress Election day voting. And that's why, and we know one party has tried to turn Election Day into this election month, and that's why your organization, incredible organization, the PHAs and the NJHAs, has been created to try to fight back against this. Meanwhile, George Soros has been flooding millions into this infrastructure for years.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty fascinated to see just how much money, after some of the USAID cuts, that were going to so many of these left-wing nonprofits, 501c3s, 501c4s. But here's the good news, Jack. Win or lose tonight, I feel like we are at a breaking point that started in 2024 with Republicans learning what it is that they need to do to win. And I'm not saying we're going to beat the Democrats when it comes to mail-in ballots anytime soon, but we're competing. That's what's making Jack Ciattarelli a potential governor. It's what's making some of these other House races in Virginia that we're targeting potentials for wins. And it's why Pennsylvania will become the red wall leading up to 2028. We've learned to play by the rules, to fight fire with fire, to compete against the Democrats using their own tactics, right? Remember, this is not our playbook. This is simply taking the Biden 2020 playbook of going out there and chasing ballots, harvesting them where it's legal. And so I think we're really hitting a peak moment where now we've got kind of all of the states, even non-swing states, understanding if we fight fire with fire, if we compete with them, we cannot do it just on Election Day. We have to look at every form of voting and figure out how to be competitive. And we're so close to hitting that threshold.
We're very, very close. Cliff, you're going to be back with me later tonight. We're going to be rekindling, firing up the election night super stream from the Charlie Kirk studio the way we did. It'll be 1 year ago tomorrow. The days, of course, changed a little bit. Last year, Election Day was the 5th, but it'll be 1 year ago tomorrow when we had that historic election night stream. And I know that Charlie would have, if he were here today, he would say, guys, we're streaming all day, we're streaming till the bitter end, to all night, because that was his favorite day of the year. So Cliff, I just want to say thank you for continuing to do what you're doing. I know Charlie would be really proud of you. I know Charlie would want you to be on the stream with us tonight, and I'm glad you'll be there.
Appreciate you, Jack, as always, and thanks to the whole Human Events Daily crew. Really appreciate you guys giving me a platform to get my word out. We're going to get back there. We're going to knock that extra door.
We're going to knock that extra door. Who knows? New Jersey could come down to just one vote. Jack Posobiec coming back. We'll have more from on the ground in New Jersey when we return. Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice.